Do you ever feel that you just want to get away from it all and just have a little bit of alone time and enjoy some solitude? Well, that's exactly how I was feeling. That's exactly what I did as I headed off on one of Scotland's long distance trails. It wasn't all good weather and fun though. It was a bit spicy in places. Anyway, join me here on day one at the start of the trail. Hi, welcome to another long distance trail yomp. That may give you a wee clue to where I am. Let me just spin you around. Oh, look at this, isn't this lovely, this wee loching. Here, I'm going to stop and get some water here, but yeah, the trail I'm on sometimes, well, it has been described as one of Scotland's great long distance backpacking routes. Well, one, I'm not sure if it's that long. Two, I'll reserve judgment. Go to the end of the video and I'll let you know what I think of it. But so far so good. I'm hoping to be out for 3 days, but that might go into 4 days because I've been significantly delayed. What would usually be, well, basically it's taken me 3 times as long to get up here due to flooding. It's quite a nice morning this morning, but that's only half the story. The last 2 days have been horrendous. I think there's about a month's worth of rain fell and there's road closures, and I'm a bit concerned about water levels and what have you. But yeah, let's stop here, get some water, and I'll report back further up the trail. So the journey up had been a bit perilous, and a lot of water and a lot of flooding had occurred in the previous 48 hours, and I was quite concerned about this and the possibility of parts of the trail being flooded, but that was part of the reason I chose this trail, to need to be waymarked and bridges over some of the larger streams. But yeah, even at the start here there was some burns which were still showing signs of being relatively high, and I was a little bit concerned for later on. I was just hoping that those levels of flooding had dropped down. This is lovely, and I've been going for probably just over an hour and a half. Been making really good progress in these lovely tracks, a lot of forestry tracks, but lovely country lanes like this, and I'm heading towards the highlands. And by the end of today I'm hoping to get to the highest point on the official route, which takes me up over a high mountain pass, I think to maybe 2,500 feet. And from there I'll get great views of the rest of the highlands. But yeah, it's quite good progress at the moment. There's a small village coming up, so I'm going to try and get there to stop for a bite to eat, and I think there's a village shop, so I might treat myself to a can of Fanta. But let's see if I get there or not. But so far so good, and I'm hoping to do quite a few miles today, and I'll tell you for why. Might have something to do with the weather going downhill tomorrow, but yeah, let's report back later on. I'll tell you all about it. Oh, right, I think I maybe spoke too soon back there when I said the track was really good. The effects of that over weekend, shall I say, rain is really starting to show now, so I'm actually going to stop and get my gaiters on, because it's just going to make things a bit easier. So I'm going to do that just now before it gets any worse. I splash through the puddles a bit easier. The last thing I want to do on day one of the trail is get myself and my feet wet. I do have spare socks in there. I always bring waterproof socks as spares, just as a backup, and sometimes to wear in camp at night. But yeah, I just don't want to get anything wet. And if my trousers got wet, it might wet my socks, which might then soak into my socks and my boots, which make my boots wet. Then there's no hope. Right, gaiters on, let's go. Oh, right, I think I've done my usual thing. It's not intentional, not this time anyway. I've not even told you what trail I'm on, so there's a wee tree stump here. I'm going to sit my butt down there and I'll tell you where I am. Oh, right, I think I'll have a wee seat here. Sat here before actually. Anyway, I am on the Caterans trail, and this is actually plan C maybe, and I wasn't planning on coming here. I was actually planning on a coast to coast, but given a number of factors, one of which was the horrendous weather, the route, the coast to coast route, I think would have been impassable in places and probably wouldn't have been much fun. So second choice was going up to Ascent, and I'm glad I didn't choose that just because of the issues I had getting here, which is this is literally about 30 miles from my home, the Cateran Trail. And as I said, in total, if you're doing the whole thing, I think it's about 103, 105 kilometres. I'm not going to be doing that, and I'll tell you the route I'm doing later on. But for now, I'm getting towards the highlands. I can see up straight ahead of me is the Glen. I came down on day 3 of my long distance trip from Aviemore to Perth. But I'm not going up that way. I'm going to be heading up to a place called Inachdu, and then I'll be going up to the high pass, hopefully today. It's the highest point on the Cateran Trail. I think about 2,500 feet, so that's going to be a bit of a pull. But for now, I'm going to just keep the head down, get going. I'm behind schedule. I wasn't wanting to rush this. I was wanting to just take my time doing this trail, but because of being behind, because of the roads and the floods, I feel like I'm chasing my tail already. But anyway, let's go on a bit further. I'm hoping to find a wee bothy to have a cup of coffee in, but I'm not sure if I'll get that far. Anyway, let's go and see if I can get up to this pass. Whew. Right, I forgot to say, this is, I don't know if this was Storm Arwen damage, but the forest has been felled here and there's lots of diversions. I'm going to have to go down this way in a minute. Anyway, I forgot to say I stopped at Kirkmichael. That was a small town, and there's a wee grocery village shop there, and I've got a wee seating area and you can get a coffee there. So I had a coffee, a can of Fanta, and some chocolate and a sandwich, and I feel tickety-boo after that. It's amazing how much that can keep you going. I think Kirkmichael, I started at the Bridge of Cali. I'll talk about this later on, but that's about the halfway point for today. Anyway, let's see if I can get through this felled forest, and hopefully there's not too many trees down and branches to crawl over. So the plan for day 1 was to get up to the high point from starting, and that was about 15 miles into the journey. And because of the late start, I wasn't too sure if I was going to make it, and there's quite a bit of an ascent to get up to that pass. But, anyway, I kind of cracked on, and the river levels were still quite high, but not as high as I thought it would be. I mean, this one here would have caused a bit of issues had it not been for a nice wooden bridge across it, as you can see here. So, yeah, in other circumstances, it would have been an impassable trail. That's been about 10 miles in there. I don't know what that is in kilometres, but yeah, I'm at nearly at Inachdu and at Condrogan Bridge, which is just here. I've got my silly hood up to protect my neck from the sun, even though it's late in the year. It's blazing sunshine. Anyway, this is Condrogan Bridge. I think from here, this is the low point, and the next time I'll be going downhill is after I've reached the pass. But yeah, what a place, and I think I'll talk a wee bit about it later on, but there's some stories, there's lots of stories on storyboards all the way up here, and there's another sort of gruesome bit of Scottish history which happened here, and apparently this is meant to be haunted. But I'll maybe talk a bit about that when I get to the tent. Story for later on tonight. Lovely, right, time to start heading uphill. Right, let's go. From this bridge, it's the start of the pull to get up to the pass, and yeah, there's not many downhill bits at this point, so it's just head down and put one foot in front of the other to try and get to the top and the highest point on the Cateran Trail. This is lovely. I'm starting to get into the hills now, and I've ascended over 200 metres. It was about 250 metres down at the river, and I'm now over 450, and I'll spin you around and you can see what I can see. It's absolutely glorious. Look at this. Up into the highlands now. And that's the high pass, probably just the middle of your picture. Goes round to the right, and can't wait to show you the view from there. Absolutely beautiful. But it's so remote as well. It's just exactly what I was after. I was needing a bit of alone time, I think, and I kind of thought coming round here would be quiet, and I've not met another soul apart from the people in the coffee shop, but no other walkers. I've seen one cyclist, and that's it. The solitude has been lovely. So still can't see this Bothy, and the sun is still shining down. It's been a glorious afternoon, but there is cloud coming in from the south. I can see that. That's tomorrow's weather. But let's crack on a bit and see if I can get up to this wee Bothy, because I quite fancy a coffee. And we are running out of daylight hours. Sunset at the moment about 6:15, I think. So another couple of hours, and I'll need to start thinking about getting a pitch. So let's go and get this Bothy and get a coffee. Hey, look what I found. The wee Bothy at last. Right, let's go and have a look inside and get a coffee. Ooh. Nice, right. Let's get this bag off. I'll give you a wee tour in a minute. There's a wee visitor's book there as well, I'll sign that. Right, whilst I'm waiting for my pot noodle to soak in and my water to boil for my coffee, there's a visitor's book which is on the shelf to keep it away from the mice. So I'm going to sign this. There's a bit here about Queen Victoria. She obviously liked this part of the world. Anyway, right. Let's sign this. Date is... Right, seems like my coffee's ready. And that'll do. Put this back away from the mice. Right, hopefully you can see me alright. I'm just going to let my coffee cool here. It is 5 o'clock, so yeah, about an hour, just over an hour till sunset. So I'll get this stuff down me and then yeah, get up to the pass and then start looking for a pitch. But anyway, let's give you a quick tour of the wee Bothy. So this is the kitchen, nice view outside. Nice big tables here actually. There's the door, and when you come in, let me just sort of spin you around here. You come in, there's plenty of space for sitting down there. I don't know if it's actually meant to be for sleeping in, but it could provide shelter, I suppose. So there's this wee area down here, main kind of table, some nice views, and there's another wee room with a rickety table in it. Looks like there's some bird poo there or some sort of something in there, but yeah, tell you what, I'm certainly glad of this place. So I'm just going to go and have my coffee, and then I'll get back out on the trail, and then it's up to the pass, another 100 or 150 metres up there, and then it's, yeah, find the pitch, and then it's downhill. Oh, coffee's tasting good. Maybe not a wise idea to have it at after 5 o'clock at night, but you know what? It'll help me get up this final pool. I think you can see it maybe just to the right of the hut. That's the top of the pass there, that's the highest point. I can't remember the height. I'm going to say 650, 700 metres. I thought it was maybe higher than that, but I did have a look and I can't remember now what it was. But yeah, I think that's, once I get up there, that's about 15 miles, and that was the minimum I was wanting to do today. But again, I did lose at least 2 hours this morning just trying to get to the start because of the drive, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. And as I said, I'm not going to rush it. If I have to spend an extra day in the trail, then so be it. But yeah, this is lovely. It's so nice, and it's nice to be able to get somewhere in here just to sit. I can imagine on a wet day it would be bliss getting out of the rain and in there. But even today, it's nice just to have a wee table to sit and have your coffee. So I'm going to have this, and then one final pool, and then I'm going to have to start looking for a campsite. That's the main, that could be an issue because there's been so much rain, I don't think there'll be anywhere dry, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Right, let's get stuff ready. Right, leave it as I found it. I'll tell you what, I'm thinking, God, the cows are making a hell of a lot of noise, and I was like, is it sheep? It's cows, why is there cows so high up? And then I realised, I looked outside and saw a stag about 100 metres away, it's rutting season, so that's what, it wasn't cows, it was the old stags rutting away, so might be a sleepless night. Anyway, let's go, let's get up to the top. The next section was the final 100 metres, 150 metres of ascent up to that high point, and I was quite concerned about finding a pitch before it got dark with how waterlogged the ground was, but I couldn't do that until I'd got up there, so I head down and trudged on to the top of the pass. Oh, here I am. Oh, at the pass. Oh, yeah, I can just make out the lunch hut. Oh, my legs are feeling tired. And you know what? You'll not notice it because I've got everything on auto at the moment in the camera, so you can see me. But the light is starting to fade, and the clouds are building. I don't know if you can see them. They're looking pretty ominous, to be honest with you. But the deer, my God, there's some just up on the skyline there. You probably won't be able to make them out, but just loads and loads of deer. And then round this way, look at that. What a view! That's looking up Glen towards the Glen Shee ski centre. And I'm going to be dropping down here now, and I'm going to be looking for a pitch because it's going to be dark soon. So I'm going to start heading down here and see if I can find somewhere to put the tent up. What a spot! Woohoo! Oh man, right, let's go. I headed downhill, which was quite nice, and I was keen to try and find a pitch before I got to the next settlement, which was the Spittle of Glen Shee. And as I headed down, it was quite hard to find somewhere to pitch the tent, and I ended up further down the quarry than I expected, but I knew there'd be a spot with a bit of shelter behind a dry stone wall, as I'd been here a few times before. Oh, right, I'm starting to lose the light now. I think, yeah, I might set the tent up here. Great view down Glen Beg. And the other thing is, there's this stone dike. I knew this was here. The wind was kind of picking up a bit further up, and it's to pick up again in the morning, so this will give me a wee bit of shelter. So I'm going to set the tent up here. I don't think anybody's going to come up here. I'm just going to be slightly on the path, but I'll be up early and gone in the morning, so hopefully I'll not be obstructing anybody's passage. So let's do it. Let's get the tent up here. Let's get this up before it gets too dark. Might have to get my head torch on before I finish getting the tent up. Give myself a wee bit more light. Now let's see if I can get on. See if I can get up before I need that. As darkness was coming in, I managed to get the tent up just in time. I'd used every daylight hour available to me today, but I was quite happy with my progress so far. Right, that's my tea cooking away nicely. And yeah, I'm just above the Spittle of Glen Shee. I think I've done about 16 miles today. It was about 15 up to the pass. Then, as I said, I came down here, and there's no wind down here at all actually. That dike's given me a bit of shelter, but tomorrow the forecast is a bit different to what it was today. It was a beautiful day today, and I've got 2 or 3 options for tomorrow. I was really wanted to go up to a loch which goes up and round a glen called Glen Beanie, and that was my initial plan, but I might, there's also a hill or a mountain that I've not done, which is kind of en route, and I'll see how I'm feeling. In fact, there's 2, so I might do that, or I might just do the normal, follow the Cateran trail, the normal route. I don't know yet. We'll see what tomorrow brings. But yeah, I'm going to have my tea just now, and I'll bring you back later on, because I've decided I'm going to tell you a story at night, and a story from the trail, just from their information boards. There's some interesting history around about here, so yeah, I'll bring you back and tell you a story later on once I've had a bite to eat and I'm relaxed and chilled out a bit more. So nice wee spot. Right, let's get my food. Oh, I hope you can see me okay. I did promise you a story. So one of the storyboards, one of the first ones, was about the Caterans. So what's the Cateran Trail? The Cateran Trail is named after the Caterans, who were a bunch of thieving gets. Basically, lightly armed men, apparently from the highlands, who used to go about stealing cattle. because cattle were a prized commodity back in the day. Can tell I'm not a history expert. Anyway, one of the storyboards nearer the Bridge of Cali, so not far from the start. I can't remember the name of the place, but anyway, there was a chap there called Chalmers back in the day, and he was quite renowned, and he really fought the Caterans, stopped them stealing stuff from his land, and he was quite feared by them. And apparently they decided that they were going to get rid of this Chalmers because he was just a bit of a pain. So they decided they were going to try and kill him in his sleep in his house. But Chalmers, on his way back, noticed the Caterans hiding, but he didn't let on apparently, and he went into his house and basically stayed up all night, knowing that they were going to try and sneak in and kill him. But yeah, they didn't get very far. They opened the door, and he basically killed two of them. I don't know if these are true stories or not, but probably are. It's pretty grim. Anyway, killed two of them, and the other bunch of Caterans apparently slinked off into the night, never to be seen again. And after that, Chalmers never got any more hassle from the thieving beggars, the Caterans. So there you go, there's your story. There'll be another story tomorrow night. Tune in for that later on in the video. Anyway, I've been looking again. The forecast has been updated, and it's getting worse and worse for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a waterproof day, so I'm undecided as to what I'm going to do. There is a place called in the next Glen over, so I'll be going down Glen Shee and then heading over to Glen Isla, and there is a hotel there called at the Kirkton of Glen Isla, the Glen Isla Hotel. I'm really hoping that's open because I quite fancy getting some food there. I didn't have any tea tonight. My Wayfarer's meal, which I cooked up, you probably saw me cooking that up earlier on, had a tear in it. And I don't know if I don't think that tear was new, because when I opened it up there was all these black flecks in it, which I've not seen before. I just didn't take the chance, which is a bit disappointing. So I'm currently eating fruit pastels. Again, along with my coffee at 5 o'clock at the lunch hut, and sugary fruit pastels at 9 o'clock at night. I probably ain't going to get no sleep. So anyway, I'll report back in the morning. Could be a wet one tomorrow, but yeah, let's see how we get on. Night for now. Right, I've got my coffee, as you can see. Good morning. There's spits and spots of rain, clouds down on all the hills, unfortunately. So I don't think there's going to be much views today. And I've put my hard shell on now because I think I'm going to get rain. But if I can get the tent packed away before the rain starts, that'll be good. Anyway, right, I figured out, I think for me to complete in the time scales, which I'm hoping to do by Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I'm hoping to make this 3 days. I need to do about 16 or 17 miles, which is about 26, 27 kilometres a day. And I think I did that on day one. I'll put the stats up, I'll figure that out on the map when I'm editing. So yeah, I think I've made a decision on what I'm going to do today. And if you remember, yesterday I was talking about there's about 4 or 5 options for today, and one involves going up to Loch Beanie, which I've always wanted to go past, which is a known diversion off the route. If you look at the official descriptions. The other one was just to follow the path round. That might still end up being the option if the weather deteriorates any further. Another option was to go up over 2 Grahams, which are mountains between 2,000 feet and 2,500 feet. But I think what I'm going to opt for is just going up 1 Graham, which is called Mount Blair, which is quite a famous one because I've always wanted to do it. I've never done it. You can see it from my hometown, and when I walk the dogs, it's quite a pronounced peak. It's not the highest in the world, but because it sits right in the highland boundary fault, it's visible for quite a few miles around. So I've never done it, and I think I'm going to give that a bash, which means that pass there wasn't the highest point on the route. It's going to be Mount Blair, which sits at about 750 metres. Just a wee hill, but when I've got all my camping gear and my backpack and stuff, it could be quite a challenge. So it might not happen. As I said, there's conflicting reports about the weather. Some are saying it's going to be torrential rain, others are saying it's just going to be light rain. So who knows, right? Let's get this tent away and start trekking. Slightly damp, but not wet. One of the things that can help a lot in these multi-distance in terms of weight. One of the things that can help in terms of weight is having a nice dry tent. If it's soaking wet, it can add to the weight. So I think there's new materials out. I think with the scarp as well. Don't ask me the technical terms, but ones that don't absorb the water, which means if it is wet, the weight of the tent won't be quite so bad. So anyway, I'm happy with that today. Let's get that away. There we go. Leave no trace, as always. Don't be a mummy's boy expecting somebody to clean up after you. Anyway, right, nearly there. I'll report back in a wee while when I'm on the trail. So the wind was picking up a little and the skies were getting greyer and greyer. So I set off with my hard shells on, hoping that I was going to stay dry for a good part of the day, but it didn't look great at this point. I've not actually come very far. I just come down to the Spittal, thought I'd do a bit here. I'm on the old military road, the old bridge. It's funny how the old bridges all seem to last forever, eh? Anyway, the water levels are still... They're not in spate, put it that way. They've obviously dropped quite a lot, which is good. It puts my mind at ease. Though there is a weather warning further west today. I'm just hoping that rain stays west, but yeah, I know this area quite well. Stayed here at the lodges a few times. That was a kestrel. There's no way I'll be able to see it with this camera, but there's a kestrel hovering just to the right of that hill. Anyway, yeah, lots of corbets that you can do from here or along here up to Glashchillican and up to the Munro, and easy access up to the Glen Shee ski centre up Glen Beg. Beautiful, beautiful area, love it. So, anyway, there's another raptor up here. That's one thing I have noticed, there's lots and lots of raptors, buzzards and eagles, as well as all the deer, obviously. Right, down Glen Shee I go. Let's see if I can get up Mount Blair. Well, I tell you what, I am absolutely roasting. Time to take this hard shell off. I'd put it on, it has been raining actually, but it's not rained for about 20 minutes. So time to take it off, because if I don't, I'll just get wet from the inside. And sometimes you just get wet from the inside, so... Oh, let's take this off. I'm going to keep it at the top of the bag. Because if I do decide to go up Mount Blair, I'll need to get to it quite quickly, so I think it'll be quite windy. The forecast is just changing all the time. Still says there's rain, but now it's saying it's less pronounced here. It's further west, which is good. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that that remains the case. But it's a lovely start today too. Must admit, I'm loving the scenery. I mean, I do love the scenery around about here. Glen Shee and Glen Beg and up towards the ski centre. One of my favourite places. So right, let's get across this bridge. Yeah, head on a bit further. You know what will happen now? It's going to start raining, isn't it? Alright, let's get this on. Right, let's go. Don't know if you can see up. There's a big coo with a white face looking at me, and on the other side of that there's a field of them. And any of you that have watched the channel know that I've got a slight fear of cows and fields. Don't have my dog with me today, so it's not been too bad. Anyway, they were fine. And the next minute, this old defender comes up and over the field. And I just had a good half an hour chat with the local farmer. He's telling me some tales. Nice guy, happy to see me. He said he's not seen many folk for a wee while out here. Just shows you how quiet it can be. But aye, I'm just going to keep going in case those cows come over the hill. I'm hoping they're going to be taking more interest in the farmer, hoping he's got some feed for them. Anyway, it's more raptors. It's just a shame I've not got a zoom lens, but there's 2 or 3 of them over there, another 2 or 3 down that way. In fact, don't know if you can make out right on the horizon, that's Mount Blair, just coming out of the cloud. I tell you what, I'd be happy if it's cloud free when I get to the top later on, but still a bit to go, a fair few kilometres to get down there, so let's see how I get on. So far, so good. Well, this is glorious. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and today, at this precise moment, I think I've won some. Let me just show you this. I mean, look at this, isn't this wonderful? The sun's even coming out. You can see up to the Munros, Glass Miles up that way, and then down over Glen. It's not Glen, the farmer pronounced it Glen, heading up here, which is the way I was going to go, but I'm going to head, there's another raptor down there. I'm going to keep heading down and head towards Mount Blair, as I've said. Yeah, the amount of times I've driven down here, because it's the same glen as the road runs down, but a few hundred metres other way in the path, you know, anyway, it gives you a different perspective of the glen. And yeah, I can't suggest enough maybe just getting out and exploring these places which you often drive past on the way to the mountains. Well, I do anyway. Right, anyway, let's go. So the walk down Glen Shee was across quite a bit of arable land, farmers' land, and it was just lovely actually. And as I said, you were seeing parts of Glen Shee that, from a different perspective than I usually do when I'm heading down in the car. It was lovely, and the Cateran trail is really well signposted, so you'd find it hard to get lost, and there's lovely stiles over the walls, and it was just a really, really enjoyable morning. And the fact that rain was staying off was a bonus as well. Anyway, on I went. I knew that I had a steep pool ahead of me if I wanted to go up Mount Blair, so I was keen to get moving and get set for that ascent, which would take me to the highest point on my route over the 3 days. There's a wee burn here, so I've been walking for about 2.5, 3 hours. I think I'm going to have a wee stop here. It's still quite nice, a bit gloomier. The colours are just amazing. I could thoroughly recommend doing this trail in the autumn time. It's just the birch trees, absolutely lovely. Anyway, I'm going to get a wee brew on here, have a coffee, have a bite to eat. It's just round the next corner is Mount Blair, so let's get something to eat here and we'll report back in a wee minute. Oh. Sounds a bit strange, but it's always important to remember to eat when you're on the trail, and the fact that I hadn't had a main meal the night before just highlighted that I really needed to get some food and some coffee down me, so I was looking forward to just stopping and setting up and having a wee brew. It also helps the morale, I think, having a wee warm cup of coffee after trekking for quite a few hours. Well, it does for me anyway. I always look forward to it. It's a lovely wee spot. I think somebody else has found a lovely wee spot because on this rock here, which is where I've sat my bum, there was a a claw, as in a seafood claw, as in a crab claw. I don't know if, yeah, I don't think any raptors would be flying. We're literally in the centre of Scotland, so I think somebody's enjoyed a wee crab feast and left the crab claw out there, which I thought was quite amusing. Anyway, I've had a Scotch egg and I've finished off I bought a bar of Milky Bar, a big bar of Milky Bar white chocolate. Oh, so good. So I've just finished that. I'll keep another Scotch egg for possibly at the top. I was hoping to get a meal at the Glen Hotel, but I think it's shut on Mondays and Tuesdays, and today is a Tuesday, so yeah, anyway. Just going to sit here for a bit longer and I'll report back when I'm back and walking. So after having a lovely coffee and a wee bite to eat, I eventually pulled the backpack back on and headed round looking to get to the start of the ascent up the mountain. Yeah, I've gone a wee bit further. I've got my first view of Mount Blair. I don't know if you can see it up there. Look at the colour of these trees. Right, it looks quite imposing from here. They take it down here around the corner and then assess whether, well, I think I will go up because it's clear at the moment. That's a good sign, but let's see, it's quite breezy, which means it's going to be windy up there. Anyway, let's go on and we'll make our decision in a wee while. Oh, a wee bit of road walking. I think I'm nearly at the start of the climb. I think this gate marks the start of the climb up to Mount Blair. Just up there doesn't look too bad from here, but I do know the altitude at the moment is about 340 metres, and I think the summit of this is about 750, so there's about 400 metre pull, which isn't bad, but when you've been walking for a day and a half and you're carrying your house on your shoulders, I know I might have to regret this, but anyway, let's go up here. I think I'd rather this than the road walking, but it's quite windy here, you probably can't hear it, but I think it might be blowing the hoolie up here, so we'll see how we get on. Let's go. I'm such an idiot. I've just realised where I started down there, I was actually following the boundary line on the map, not a path. I should have walked a couple of 100 metres further up onto the ridgeline. Over there, I was just too eager. I did wonder because I went through the trees and I thought maybe it's just been diverted because of Storm Arwen damage, but yeah, beautiful views back though. Look at that on the other side of Glen Shee, absolutely gorgeous. And then this hill here, that was when I was going to come over, that's another Graham, I think it's called Ben Jukery. But anyway, upwards and onwards, I'm going to head diagonally across to try and find the path. I'll report back. Oh, the wind, if I find it. Oh, right. Right, I found the path. If you can see it behind me there. And yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of shortish grass. And yeah, nice views. I'm glad I'm not further north. One of the reasons I chose the Caterans trail was it's slightly further east into the south, so any bad weather shall be further west and further north. As you can see, the hills, whew, everything to the north is, god damn it, whacked in the eye with that. Anyway. Anyway, right, the hills to the north are in the clouds. It's going to be windy up here. This is only just over 500 metres, so another 250 metres to go, so let's get going. I wasn't wrong. As I headed further up the mountain towards the summit of Mount Blair, the wind was pretty, well, gale force would be an understatement. Yeah, you probably can't tell it from the footage here, but it was windy. Nearly the top! Woo! Right, you might be able to hear me here. I don't know if you can hear that, that's the wind whistling through the signal mast. Oh my god, right. We'll get to the top here. Now let's get off here. Wow. Just a bit breezy. Right, let's do this. Wah-ha! Anchor down here for a minute. Wow. Listen to that. I don't know if you can hear that wind going through the telecommunications mast. It is breezy. I had a look at the forecast and it suggested gusts up to 50 miles an hour at 900 metres an hour, at 740 metres, so I reckon it's gusting 45, 50 here maybe. Just about enough to knock you off your feet. So let's get down. I'm going to have the wind at my back. The issue, I think the only reason I've not lost my hat is the hood. And one of the reasons I've not been blown away is the weight of my pack. Although in all seriousness, the pack does act like a sail and can knock you off. So I'm just going to get my bearings here. It's nice to get some views though. See over to Ben Verracchi. And as I said, it's cloudier further north. So yeah, I'm kind of glad I came up here, although it is a bit windy. Right, let's get going. I'll report back when I'm further down. I should say as well, I'm heading straight down towards the Kirkton of Glen as opposed to heading back the way I came. A bit more of a direct route, but anyway, let's go. Oh. Ah. Whew. Meant to say there's an amazing viewfinder just off the summit, the best one I think I've ever seen. I'll put some footage up at it now. I think it's in memoriam to people. Absolutely fantastic, worth coming up to see that alone. Right, Mount Blair, downhill now, let's go to Glen Isla. Right, I'm just off the summit, just up there. I've got a wee bit of shelter from this dike here. Anyway, I was a bit worried about coming down this way because I couldn't see any paths on the map. Not that I'm following them as it is anyway, but anyway, I'm delighted to say there is a path heading down this spur. I'm not sure if it's going exactly where I want it to, but I'll take it. And yeah, I'm just going to follow it all the way down here, and then it's a bit of a road walk to the Kirkton of Glen town. I eventually made my way off the mountain and was glad to get lower down because it was a little less windy down here, and it was back onto some tarmac. Right, a wee bit of road walking. Just stopped here because if you look back along the road, right at the top there's Mount Blair, that's where I was. So I've come a fair distance since there. Anyway, the next town is the Kirkton of Glen There is a hotel there with a bar and restaurant, but as I said before, it's shut on a Monday and Tuesday. I might go along and just see though, you never know. Chance for luck, but yeah, a bit of road walking. It takes it out of you. So let's get to the Kirkton of Glen and see what the story is there. Right, let's go. I eventually got to the part of the trail which comes off the tarmac, which is just before the town. And so I didn't actually head to the hotel, just cracked on and got a bit further along the trail. Literally just come off the road and I've been faced with this rickety looking bridge. Let's go. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, that's me. I didn't actually go into the Kirkton of Glen I was just going to add an extra 10, 15 minutes, maybe a bit more. I found this stone here. I'm going to stop and get a bite to eat because all I've had today is really a pork pie, a Scotch egg, some fruit pastels and some chocolate. And it's getting on a bit. It's 3 o'clock, so let's get a bite to eat yet. I'll report back in a wee while. Oh, a nice wee seat here. Oh, that's nice. Oh, a nice view of Mount Blair right in the centre of your picture. Anyway, I'm starting to feel it, my legs are showing signs of fatigue, shall we say. Now that I'm heading up this hill, didn't expect there to be another hill, but anyway, let's get to the top and hopefully we'll start going downhill soon. Soon. Oh, it's still blowing. I had to come up to this wee point here, just a very short detour, because I hope you can hear me. Trail goes down that way into the woods now, but yeah, what a lovely wee spot, catches the wind obviously. Some more moorland up there, high moorland. Not going up there. It's dark over there, Mount Blair, Glen Isla. Right, let's get down into the woods. It's about 4 o'clock now, I'm going to walk for about another hour I think. Then I'll start looking for a pitch. I think I've done quite well today. Right, let's do it. Not come far, to be honest with you, but I feel like at that point, I don't know if it's Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, and they go into this wood, or they come up to the edge of this wood. I think it's Mirkwood it's called, I can't remember, somebody will correct me. That's where I'm headed now, I'm heading into the woods. And I just feel like that part of Lord of the Rings where it's, oh, should I go in, should I not? I'm just sure that way, don't know why. But listen to that wind. Again, looking back to where I've come, just a beautiful, beautiful day. Even though it's windy, it's refreshing. Right, we better go into the wood. Hopefully there's no goblins, trolls, orcs. That's the one, isn't it? Or ents. Anyway, right, ents. They were a bit like Lord of the Rings equivalent of the Ewoks. Oh right, shut up, buddy. Let's go in and try and find somewhere to camp. Right, I don't know why, but I thought the bit of forest that I saw on the map was going to be deciduous natural forest, but as you can see, it's not. Don't know why I thought that. Anyway, there ain't nowhere. I was hoping to camp in this bit, in the nice natural deciduous forest land, but that's not going to happen. I know there's rain forecast. The last time I had a signal there was more rain coming in. I think it's the cold front moving in. It's been a warm front today. It's going to be colder tonight, but it'd be nice to get the tent up before the rain started, but it ain't going to happen in this stuff. So let's crack on and see if I can find somewhere to pitch. First place I see, I will be getting the tent up. So these commercial plantations really are pretty horrible, and there's absolutely nowhere to pitch the tent. It's all pretty damp ground, not very nice. But anyway, I was back on the road, and yeah, I was quite concerned, to be honest with you, about getting a camp spot at this point, because I didn't have much time left before it got dark either. But Heath Robinson. And heading up there, and along there, I'm hoping in those trees there, just, where's my finger? In there might be somewhere to camp. I'll be in trouble if there's not. Right, let's go over this stile and this rickety bridge and head up this field. Oh, well, I'm quite relieved. I was beginning to get worried about getting a pitch, but I came up through those two fields, which you probably saw. And once you get up here, there's a big grassy path. It almost looks like it's an old railway line that's that flat, and so many places to pitch. So right at the top of the fields there was a running burn, but I thought I'll keep going, so there's sheep there. There's sheep here now. There's a wee trickle just here, so I'm going to pitch the tent here, just in the forest as well, so I'm kind of hidden from the farm. So there's a great view over the Angus Glen, so yeah, let's get the tent up here. Oh, fantastic. Oh, wow. It's just about, well, the sun's down. Don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but I just got a view over the north up Glen Isla, and I don't know, you might be able to pick it out, but you can see Mount Blair. Just a wee speck, shows you how far I've come today. Absolutely amazing. It'd be nice if it was clear skies, but it's not. Now I'm just I've got the tent up. I'm going to go and chill in the tent. I've collected all my water, which is good. Done all my chores, so I'm going to chill for a while. And then, yeah, what time is it now? 6:30. Maybe give it an hour and then I'll make myself some food. What a place. Lovely. Right, let's go and chill. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the rain on. So just got the just got the tent up in time, really. So yeah, it was good timing. Right, yeah, I'm glad I'm inside now. I'll get the tea on, as I said, in about an hour. Yeah, couldn't have timed that better, really. Whilst it's peeing it down, I've just had I've had a meal, which was nice after not having one last night because there was a tear in the bag. Tonight I had a dried meal, Expedition chili con carne, really nice. You add the water to it. It says leave it for 5 minutes, but I leave it for about 20 minutes, to be honest with you. It tastes a lot better, less crunchy. Anyway, what's happened today? The trail so far has been great. I mean, I don't know if it's because I didn't have that high expectations for it to start off with. That can sometimes happen, can't it? But
I've been really impressed by it. I had a great time, and although I went off it today and went up Mount Blair, it was a nice diversion. It's just been a really, really nice, I think it's a versatile path, and I've still got a fair bit to go tomorrow. I'm not going to be visiting the main towns on the trail, which is Aelith and Blair, and I'll probably do a bit at the end of the video explaining on why I've done the route I've done. So stick to the end of the video and all will be explained. But yeah, really good, and the weather today was better than expected, although it's raining now. I mean, it's timed perfectly. It was nice of it to wait until I was nice and snug in the tent. Anyway, story for tonight. So the story for tonight is at the Spitaley Glen Shee. There's another storyboard, and apparently in 1606, which is probably 300 or 400 years into the Caterans raiding the local people of the cattle. I mean, it's a long time. I would have been doing this after about 3 days, I think. But anyway, in 1606, I think it was 1606, the Caterans raided Strathardle, Glen, Isla and Glen Shee at the same time and stole loads of cattle. And understandably that pissed off the local clansmen and the people they'd stolen them from, so they just went after them. And I think it was further up Glen Beg toward near where the ski centre is. There was a big battle, and I think the clansmen got the better of them and slaughtered a lot of the Caterans. And the Caterans were trying to get away, and they were slitting the throats of the cows just to slow up the clansmen, because they'd be stopping to help, obviously, save their cows. So pretty gruesome. People just know about the more famous sort of history, the massacre of Glencoe and things like that, but right across the highlands, some pretty nasty things happened. But anyway, I'm not going to be going outside again. I'm not going to be doing any pictures of the tent outside, because the rain, as you can probably hear, is pitter-pattering on the tent. Let's hope tomorrow when I wake up it was a bit nicer. It's to be cold. This is a cold front coming in. I think I mentioned that earlier on, so once it passes I think it might be quite chilly tonight. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning, and we'll see what the morning brings. Yeah, for now, night night.
Good morning. It's about half an hour till sunrise, and I tell you what, the forecast was spot on. It's absolutely freezing. It's not quite below freezing, but it's cold, a lot colder, a significant change in the weather today. So today is going to be the final day, hopefully. I think I did quite well yesterday and got quite a lot of distance in, but yeah, an interesting night. There was a woodpecker somewhere in the forest. Lots of things shuffling about. They do say camping in forests you can hear a lot more strange noises. Anyway, most important thing presently is I'm brewing up, and yeah, just looking forward to having some caffeine. So I'll probably bring you back after my coffee, and once I've got the tent packed away and maybe a bit more light in the sky. But at the moment it's still a wee bit of dark. Camera's compensating a wee bit, but there were a few stars up there. See the dawn light starting to come. Anyway, coffee time. Oh, nice coffee. Well, I think it's going to be quite windy again today. Clear skies at the moment, but as I said, the temperature has dropped. I've got all my layers on. It has been unseasonably mild, and I didn't bring a duvet jacket, and I did know it was going to be a bit colder today. Forecast got it spot on actually, even though it was wrong yesterday, but in terms of the temperature dropping, it certainly has. So yeah, I'm a bit, I've had a look at the map. As I said, I think I maybe mentioned that I'm going to be trying to stick away from the major conurbations of Aelith and Blair, so that means I'm going to have to go off track. Probably not halfway, but not long into the walk today, maybe a couple of kilometres down, and I'm a bit uncertain about whether that's feasible or not, but
let's see. It's going to save me a few kilometres. Basically saves me going all the way into Ailith to come back out. But, anyway, I'm going to enjoy this coffee and yeah, get the rest of the stuff packed away eventually. Oh, it's no warm, right? I am cold, but I'm going to start off bold. I'm going to take this jacket off, take my wee beanie hat on, off. I've even got my sunglasses on because I don't know if you can make out behind me. The sun is coming up, and I think once I get about a few hundred metres down this way, I'm going to be into the sunshine. I tell you what, I need it because I am freezing. It's really, it's really cold. Right, I'll report back when I'm hiking. Let's go.
So I eventually got going, and I was keen to get out of the forest and into the sunshine. And once I'd done that, it was lovely. It was a really, really nice morning actually, and the effects of that sun were soon warming me up, as was the hiking. And it was through some lovely woodland and farmland. It really was a lovely walk at this point.
Whew, well, I'm warmed up a bit now. I've just had to come up another hill, but the views from the top of this one are spectacular. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Look at that behind me, isn't that wonderful? I might be a bit blown out, but yeah, you come up this hill and the views back over the Strath, I think that's over into Angus, are just spectacular. It really is a glorious, glorious morning. I'm just hoping that cloud will move soon and we'll get some sunshine. So yeah, but I just can't get over how much I've enjoyed this walk. I kind of thought I'll come on to it probably at the section at the end where I talk about the trail. But one of the reasons I'm doing the route I'm doing was to go into the mountains and the hills. But these bits back towards the last leg where I'm dropping out of the highlands, the views over the Strath and the rolling hills towards the lowlands, I'm actually enjoying it just as much. Am I allowed to say that? Anyway, let's go. I'll report back in a wee while. Well, must be quite nice. I've got the sunnies on, sunglasses, but the other thing is that sun's starting to heat me up, so I'm going to stop here and take this layer off. Oh, roasty toasty, right. Take this jacket off on this wee stone, but what a view behind me. I don't know if you can make that out, probably can't because the sun's right behind it, but the view you can see is right down the Strath back towards Curry and Forfar and these sort of places, and back around that way is the way I've come from the Highlands, so wonderful. Let's get this stuff in the bag. Of course, the best thing about using a rock like this, oh, I nearly lost a foot pastel, that would have been a disaster. Best thing about using a rock like this, in fact I'm just going to have that foot pastels now. Third time, the best thing about using a rock like this is you can just sit your bum down and slip your rucksack on with minimal effort. Which is always nice. So, let's go. Oh, right. I'm coming off the farm track in a minute, or the, I don't know, country paths. And this is where the path switches back in itself, heads down to Ailith. I'm going to be heading straight on. I'm hoping there's a way through these farms. There does seem to be one marked on the map, but I'm about to find out. Otherwise it's going to be a lengthy detour and I will end up down in one of the major urban areas. So yeah, let's go. I'll report once I'm back on the trail. It's about, I don't know, maybe a kilometre off trail before it gets back onto it, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's go. I'll report back in a wee while. Right, I've come down. That cottage up on the top of the hill there, our farmhouse, is probably the start of the bit where I've come off route. It's not too bad. There is a track that goes down to a cottage and it's a pretty, I can imagine this path being pretty overgrown, but there are signposts for another, not the Caterans trail, but a few other trails round about here, so I was kind of glad when I saw that. But anyway, I've come to this bit and it's called Banff Wildland. Don't know if you can make that out, but there's free ranging cattle, pigs and ponies. Right, let's see if I can get through here without meeting any of those guys. I'm probably about halfway through to getting back on the trail, the Cateran trail that is, so let's go. Beautiful day though, I've hit it lucky with the weather. So nice. So nice. Anyway, Right, let's go. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Gorgeous, right? Anyway, as you can probably see, I'm through now. I said I'd do a bit once I came through and back onto the trail. So I'm been back on the trail. Kind of goes through this wildland where there's free range cows and all, all sorts. But it's lovely. The next section is going to be a bit of road walking. In fact, there's quite a bit of road walking. I've probably got about another 10 kilometres to get back to the car. So there is a section, 3 or 4 kilometres, where you come off the road. So I'll report back there. But for now, I'm going to put the camera away and just concentrate on bashing some miles out on the tarmac. Right, let's do it. What a morning though. So as I was expecting, the next section was a good few kilometres on the road. And again, there was quite a big pull up to the top of a hill. It was tough going because the wind was quite breezy and I was walking straight into it. But anyway, after, I don't know, an hour or so, I found myself back off the tarmac and onto some trail walking. Right, I've come off the road now. I'm in this lovely deciduous, I think it's beech trees. And the first bit climbing up the hill, the path's a bit indistinct. You can imagine it'd be quite overgrown in the summer, but there are fields that you could head into, but I was fine, I headed up. But look at this, isn't this wonderful? Look at this, near the top of the hill, and once I get to the top of this hill, it's all downhill. But look, the other thing I noticed was these, I don't know, fungi growing out the side of the trees. Look at this, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty neat. Look at these ones here, it's like there's fairies under there, I think. That's pretty, yeah. Don't know if you get that all year round or it's just this time of year. Pretty cool. Anyway, right, let's crack on. The last few kilometres down, and I'll report back when I'm heading down. Right, let's go. A little more hiking through the woods. It was really quite nice at this point, and then I started to head down and head out of the woods onto the final stretch, which involved a little bit of road walking. Right, I'm nearly there, probably about a kilometre away. Well, as the crow flies, my car's actually just a few hundred metres there, another side of a big river, unfortunately. So I'm having to go all the way down, over the bridge down here. Bridge of Callie's just over there. I probably won't end up in Bridge of Callie because, as I said, my car's parked a few hundred metres up the road. But yeah, beautiful, what a spot. The church down there. I'll bring you back at the end at the car because it's all road now. And I'll just need to, yeah, it's a busy road that I'll be going up to get to the car as well. So I'll report you back at the car. Right, last wee bit, let's do it. Oh. Right, I'm in the car because there's a few folk kicking about. In fact, when I got here, there was a couple of guys working for the council with the bright yellow jackets, and one of them came over and he watched the video. So if you watched this, nice to meet you. I was going to say at the end what a lovely trail it was because it was so quiet. I literally met one cyclist within the first half an hour of the walk, and then the only other people I came across were the farmer, the hill farmer up in Glen, Shee, and I met a farmer out with their dogs first thing this morning, and that's been it. So it's been perfect for solitude. The other thing that you haven't seen is about half an hour ago I thought I'd take a shortcut across a field to save me about 300 or 400 metres road walking. I got halfway across the field and started to notice the big cowpats, and it turned out it was there was about half a dozen frisky bulls. So I legged it over the fence, and there was a bit of crawling underneath trees and what have you. But I'm here now, so I'm gonna go back to the office and talk a bit about the trail. So we'll see you there. I don't know when I'm going to do that bit to camera. Although it'll be seconds for you, it'll probably be in a few weeks for me. I'm away to get a coffee in Blair now. Right, see you in the office. Right, I'm back in the office as promised, and what a great trail that was, the Caterans trail. I can thoroughly recommend the book as well. There's a book here by, who's it by? Just saying here, Jackie McGarry, and yeah, it's really quite useful. And in here it states it's one of the great trails. I actually, I don't know whether I wasn't
expecting too much from it. There's a number of reasons why I chose to do the Cateran Trail, and it's because it's so close to home. It's never really been high on my hit list, but as I kind of alluded to earlier in the video, the weather, you know, I was planning a coast-to-coast route, which I devised myself, one of my own routes, and that wouldn't have been possible given the weather and stream crossings and what have you. The good thing about the Cateran Trail, and one of the reasons I chose it, is I knew that there's a trail that's been, and it's waymarked. I didn't have much time to really research it. Time's always of the essence when you've got a family and family commitments, because I also had to be back. I'm away with my son tonight actually. I finished the trail yesterday and I'm away with my son in van to Tordon. It's the Tatty holidays at the moment, so he's on holiday from school, so I needed to take that into consideration. And the weather was the other thing. When it's a westerly airflow, which is the predominant direction of the weather in the UK, sometimes the land masses to the eastern side or the leeward side of the mountains can experience much better weather, and I certainly found that with the Cateran Trail. It worked perfectly, especially on day 2. Anyway, can I say that I did the Cateran Trail thinking about it now? Or maybe I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll take you onto the computer and just show you the different options that there are. Let me just do that just now. Right, so I've come over to the screen and I'll put the video of the screen of what I'm looking at and just show you the different options and what the Cateran Trail usually is. So usually most guidebooks will suggest that you start in Blair. I didn't do that, and the red dots here show you the sort of official trail, which goes up and round all the way up to the Spittal, which is where I was, and then down past, this is the bit where I went up Mount Blair, and then it goes around and down by the Kirkton of Glen. This is the bit I missed out, then I rejoined it here, down and round. I cut across this point here where it says Banff, and then came along to the Bridge of Cally. Now, I just didn't fancy, I don't know, I had originally thought about doing a circular route from Blair and doing the whole route and then coming back down to Ailith, and then there is a way you can get across here. It's not marked on this map, but you can sort of go straight across to Blair as opposed to going to the Bridge of Cally and then redoing essentially a part of the route that you've already done before. But I didn't fancy that, so I wanted to make it circular, and originally I was going to be doing that. I was actually going to be starting at the Den of Ailith and going round, but because of time constraints, a few things, family commitments. I always say that people say, what's your biggest adventure? And it's having a family, really. It's a lot bigger commitment than anything you can do in the mountains, that's for sure. Anyway, so I started at the Bridge of Cally, and you can see there's loads of different routes here. You can shorten it by going from Cray to Carmichael or round and back again. The diversion up to Glenbenny, to Loch Benny up here isn't shown on this map, but you can go up there and then drop down there as well. I came over Mount Blair and then down here. There's also the old route used to go from Cray down to Black Lunans and across to Kirkton of Glen Isla. So there's loads of different ways. It's really versatile and it's a nice circular route. So hopefully that's quite useful. Let's spin back around and I'll talk to you over here. So that's the different options that are available, and it's because of all those different options, it's so versatile. And the fact that it's a circular route. A lot of the long distance trails are from one point, from A to B, like the West Island Way, for instance, from Mulgai to Fort William. Whereas this is a circular route, and there's lots of different variations that you can do in it, like the one I did, going up and over Mount Blair and continuing down. There's other variations, as you saw there, where you can make it. So it's very versatile because it's circular, and it makes transport a lot easier as well. But yeah, just a really good trail. Some might say that it's maybe one of the easier trails to do. I don't buy into that philosophy. If you've watched my West Highland Way, an easy beginner trail video, you'll know that there's a lot rides on the conditions, especially in Scotland. I think you could do the hardest trail, whatever the hardest trail is, in perfect conditions, and it would be easier than doing the easiest trail in bad conditions, if that makes sense. It just all depends so much on the weather in Scotland, but that's what makes it fun. So there we go, that was my experience of doing part of the Cateran Trail. Really enjoyed it. I think I'll be back. I think I will go back and maybe do the bits that that I didn't do. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I need to get my stuff packed, away with my son in the van, possibly to Skye, possibly to Torridon. Don't quite know yet, but yeah, let's do that. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay safe out there. I'll see you on another adventure. Right, let's get packed up for Torridon.